Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.
This program is provided in the public interest by Thurston Community Media. More information at tcmedia.org.
Did you know Thurston Community Media is a nonprofit organization? Did you know we've been serving Greater Thurston County for more than 37 years? Stay tuned to learn more about TC Media in this edition of Mission Nonprofit. Welcome. I'm Deborah Vinsel, CEO here at Thurston Community Media. Every month we invite local nonprofit organizations to the studio to share the great work they're doing in our community. We're taking this episode of Mission Nonprofit to talk about us. Like all nonprofits, our organization is led by a board of directors. The president of our board, Megan Murphy-Ross, is in the studio with me today to talk about TC Media's operations, recent changes, and our future plans. So I'm really thrilled to have you with us, Megan. You and I work closely together on a lot of things.
We do.
I know that you came to the board of directors because you have a passion for media and for local media. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I got my degree in journalism from the U of W, and in the course of that, I had to do so much homework, and I already had a very politically active family and a love for information. So when I was first considering a career, I was looking at journalism. I ended up being a mom and doing other things instead. But journalism and media is really the way, clear back from the printing press, is the way that we communicate with each other if we're not storytelling. And so when you can combine storytelling and information together in that way that we share, like in modern days, then it's even better. So that's where, when I first came to TC Media, and I was here to just see if I could get a loan of a camera and a microphone and go out and shoot some video and pursue some things I was interested in the community. It really struck me that this is an important part of the Thurston County and the community, and so I ended up just kind of sticking around.
And we're so glad you did. So this conversation is different from what we normally do with Mission Nonprofit, because it really is more of a conversation between two people who have a passion for this organization and what we do. I think that what we've seen, as we've seen with consolidation of media at the national level, and the reduction and or loss of locally focused media, that organizations like TC Media serve a really vital and important role in a community to help a community tell its own story and to make sure that local information is available to the people in a community.
And if you have an informed community, if you have a community that is getting information that's vital to being able to self-govern, which is what we're ultimately supposed to be able to do, then you're able to have an engaged public, and that community, then that builds community. If everybody knows what's going on, then you're much stronger.
And it's I have found I have been in the community media world for a long time, and we've seen such changes in the media ecosystem just in general, from the advent of the internet and the advent of social media and consolidation of corporate media. When I started my career 40 years ago, which is hard for me to say, 50 conglomerates controlled or managed our media ecosystem, and today it's 5 or 6 through consolidation and corporate buyouts.
Right, and my background was in radio for many years, we'll say decades, and in the same situation where driving across the country, it was shocking when you realize that you go from state to state and you would hear the same program coming from the same Clear Channel or whomever.
Right.
Yeah.
Same DJ, same program, same, right.
And it's the variety and that you know, keeps people interested in being a part of what's happening.
And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Thurston Community Media over the years. We've been operational for 37 years, and we have seen such a diversity of people and stories and perspectives and practices expressed through digital media now and analog media, you know, back in the day. It truly does hold a mirror up to our community and say, this is our community. And we have been in a position to facilitate those conversations or to facilitate those stories. We maintain neutrality. We don't take positions on things. Our role is to help the community tell its story and bring information forward.
I've never heard anybody say that they wish TCMedia wasn't around. I mean, I know that sounds strange, but I was talking to one of the commissioners, and they said, you know what? I don't always agree with what I see, but I'm always glad that it's there. And to me, that's really a great way of looking at what TCMedia offers is vital.
Right. Well, and I think in any community, when you have a platform where all perspectives are welcome, all practices are welcome. I point to our faith community, because when TCMedia was established 37 years ago, the faith community really understood the power of the tool of television, and were very supportive. But when I say faith community, I mean all types of practices, traditional practices that people are most probably familiar with, Protestant, Christian practices, Judeo-Christian practices, I would say. But we've seen a lot of other, I will call them spiritual practices expressed on our channel, because folks have different ways of finding that spiritual path. And we saw so many different types of faith and spiritual messages being presented across the public access channel to the community. So it really, when people said, I don't agree with that, we were able, with that particular practice or that particular perspective, I was able to point to it and say, but this is a part of our community, because the people who are bringing that to the viewing audience are from this community. So those practices are part of our community. They're part of the tapestry that makes up our community.
And also always willing to have equal time, because that's so important. If one view is stated, then giving the opportunity for another view to be stated.
Everybody welcome to come in and state their comments. So let's talk a little bit more about just operationally, what happens here at TCMedia. We've talked about how we help facilitate messages and storytelling and the community being able to express itself. But we do it by providing some really specific services.
And like I said earlier, when I came in to get, like a camera, I had a camera, but it was, of course, this monstrous thing that I couldn't carry around anywhere really easily. And so just the equipment that's available here for people to check out, go through a class, learn how to use it properly, and check it out and be able to produce something that then you can air on the channel.
So you bring up a really important part of what we do. In the facilitation of people's speech, we make tools available to them, and we make tools available to the community. So I would like to share now some video that some folks who have been actual community producers here who have used our facilities and resources to talk about why they think it's important that these resources are made available. Great. We'll take a look at that right now.
And I've been involved with TCMedia since, for the last 35 years. And I've always found it to be one of the bright parts of this community, mainly because so many different voices have the opportunity to be heard and to produce their own shows.
I took a TV show production class. I just finished it, 3 sessions, and it was awesome. And the last class I took of the TV show, we produced 2 5-minute shows, and it was just like, that's how it goes. That's everything goes together. It was great.
Power of community media can really jumpstart and launch programs that can grow beyond itself. And that's why public access needs to remain a viable piece going into the future, because they're still making that happen today.
The folks at TCTV, now TCMedia, have been very helpful and supportive. They really do believe ordinary people can make their own video, make their own media, and the organization provides infrastructure that helps us get topics and information out to the general public where the public would otherwise not know these things. So it's a very supportive thing. Grassroots, local people are making good media thanks to TCMedia.
We're inundated with media for our entire lives. Like, everything is now got a video attached, whether it's on television or on your smartphone. And it's very important to be able to actually know how to make it, so you know what the people who are making it and having you watch it are doing and what they're telling. I think that once you know kind of how to make your own videos, it helps you kind of not be so affected by commercial made media. And I'd much rather watch TV shows made by my friends and community than, I don't know, whoever it is making it in Hollywood, or the ad execs who are like trying to sell you stuff. So that's why I love TC Media, and I'm going to keep watching it, TCTV forever.
We are losing the variety of voices in this country, so I hope that we can all join together and support TC Media to continue into the future. I think our community really needs this.
So all of the folks that we just saw in that little video have come into TC Media and utilized our facilities and resources, and we're really proud of what we have here. We have some pretty cool stuff.
Well, in addition to the equipment, of course, is just the state-of-the-art studio.
Space.
The space
we're in.
The space in which we sit right now is phenomenal. Having this type of a setup where you can move things around, you've got not only the space but also just the equipment, the lighting, the cameras,
Control room,
the teleprompter.
Right.
And the control room B too, so you can communicate back and forth. It's a pretty phenomenal space.
A lot of people don't understand that what we do is to make what I call the three tools, the three T's, the tools, training, and transmission services available. And when I say tools, as you said, it's our beautiful studio, our 1,500 square foot production studio that we have, but also portable equipment that people can check out, cameras, tripods, microphones, light kits after they've been trained. 2 different kinds of field cameras, DSLR cameras that can record 4K video, and we have high definition video camcorders that are more traditional camcorder format, and all the accessories that go with them. But we also have other tools that people may not think in terms of being media tools, like iPads. We have iPads that have software on them that people can create animation or capture video and images with. We've got some great accessories for folks who want to use their mobile device, their iPhone or their Android phone, to create video. We've got gimbals that can be checked out, and a gimbal, for folks who may not know, is kind of like a Steadicam for cell phones. So we have a lot of different types of tools for media content creators that is available here for a very reasonable fee.
Right. And I also like, the training part of it, because even if you don't know how to use any of the equipment, the fact that there are such, great educators here, people who, have worked in the field, who know how to use it properly, that know the shortcuts, know the mistakes you're already going to make before you make them, so they can help you.
We encourage mistakes, make big ones.
Right.
They're easy to fix.
So I mean, that's just another really, I think, amazing part of TC Media, is that the people are really, because while all of this stuff is really important, if there weren't the people in the first place to be able to teach and to guide, then it would be just a building with equipment in it.
Exactly. I mean, I can swing a hammer, but I'm not a carpenter, So if I took a class, I'd be much better at it. And we're very proud of that, of being able to to provide people with training that can make them effective communicators with the tool. And I think the other thing that happens during the process of people learning how to use the tools that we make available is it demystifies the medium itself. Sitting on your couch watching a movie or watching television or watching something that's coming from a streaming device, it can be a very mysterious process until you take a class in it. And the classes that we have offer, hands-on work on how to use specific pieces of equipment, but also how to effectively use those tools to craft a media product at the end of it. So, I've over the years in my career, I've had so many people who have said to me, now I know how they do it. So now that I know how the production process works, I also have a better understanding of how media can be manipulated to impact the message. And I think that is kind of an invisible a benefit of going through the classes is it's, our classes are infused with a certain amount of media literacy training. In that, we try to explain to people how, using a close-up versus a long shot, how that can emotionally impact the recipient of your message, and how your viewer can realistically be manipulated to a particular viewpoint based on how you produce it. So that's all part of the process.
And it is an eye opener. Once you start going down that rabbit hole and you go, oh, I'm never going to look at anything the same ever again. Thank goodness, because you don't want to have your eyes closed. You need to be aware.
You look at it very differently. I remember a couple of years ago, one of our students came in and he goes, I was watching a football game and I started counting, and they've got like 20 cameras because they were counting the different angles and shots and things like that. That prior to taking a class, they just weren't, it didn't dawn on them that that's how big that was. That's how complex and involved that was. So, and I tell folks, what we do here, it's a matter of scale. It's not terribly different from any other production environment. It's just a matter of scale. So.
I think also another really important aspect is the storytelling part of it. We were talking earlier about that, and learning how to tell the story and how to do it properly, and how to do the research and make sure that it's well represented. Anytime that you have an opportunity to do that, it comes also with a certain responsibility. And while we don't have a lot of long-form journalism opportunities, that's one of the things I'm hoping, in the future with TCMedia, that we'll have a chance to do more of that sort of work, because it benefits everybody.
Yeah, as we move forward. So often we will invite folks who've gone through our classes to participate in projects that TCMedia is creating on behalf of the community. So we do projects that we call community benefit projects, because we think that the content is important to the community for a variety of reasons, and that there be some broad community interest in it. And our community projects range from a forum on the Regional Fire Authority, for example, to coverage of a community festival or event like this Procession of the Species, which is coming back this year. So we'll be there with our cameras. We're so excited to be able to cover it. And these are things that we believe to be, integral to the health of our community and important to our viewing audience, because they want to see these things. So we often invite folks who've been through our training classes to be part of that volunteer base that helps to make those things possible. And once we create them, and once our members create them, then we distribute them. Distribution has changed a lot over the years. When TCMedia was first established, we had one local cable television channel. Now we have a network of distribution services. So we're distributing not only on the cable channel, we are on cable TV channel 22, which is the public access channel, which streams 24/7 through our website. But also, if you have Roku or Apple TV or Fire TV, you can find the programming from Channel 22 on all of those platforms, and also on our video on demand server at tcmedia.org. So we're not just television anymore.
And YouTube too.
And
obviously.
YouTube too, yes. We do have a
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Absolutely, you can find our programming on our YouTube channel also. So distribution is something that doesn't necessarily drive the operation, but once a piece of media is created, you need to find an audience. So here's these different ways to do that.
And I found some great stuff. I know we're going to talk a little bit later about the concert series, but oh my gosh, it was so great. I was thinking, oh, I wonder what Ethan Tucker's doing. It's like, oh, there's the concert he did.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that
Sure.
now. So there have been, I bring up the concert because the Studio A concerts are a way for TC Media to raise money. And we're raising money now because there have been some significant changes in our operation and our funding structure.
Certainly have, yeah. So it's been since August now of 2023 that the jurisdictions, which include the city of Lacey, Tumwater, Olympia, and Thurston County, have pulled out of TC Media of being the main contractor for all of their broadcast and recordings of meetings and various other programs, which was really shocking at first. But as time is going by, and the shock is worn off, it's become more exciting and more invigorating of thinking, well, if that changes, what does that mean for us? And so things like what I mentioned earlier, long form journalism, an opportunity for being able to dive deeper into things that in the past, since there was such a huge obligation of taking care of the jurisdictions, as well there should have been. But now that opens up more time, more talent to be able to pursue other areas. And so the board, we have a six-member board right now, and at first we were, doing our regular strategic planning. It was like, oh, going down this merry road. And then when that happened, it was like, okay, now let's
We have to pivot.
Yeah, now it's time to let's condense all of that and compress it into what are we going to do for the next 6 months. And so we luckily we have a really strong board. So we have someone with a grant writing background. We have someone who has really good journalism and political information and knows how all of that operates. We also have someone who's a specialist on nonprofit boards. And so, we really have a couple of producers as well. So we have a really strong bench that we've been working from. And looking at, okay, what now? And what now is looking actually deeper into the community. And what does the community need? Because that's really our answer. So we spoke at length with staff, we did surveys with community members, with old producers, and of course with ourselves too, and with you, what does the future look like? And the future looks bright if we focus on what we know how to do. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but what we know how to do and to do it well and to do more of it.
Right. Expand it. And
Expand.
It is an interesting position for us to be in because it's almost like starting a whole new organization. And we are now able to allocate our human resource in a different way than we were just a few months ago. So we can focus more on, we are focused more on community impact and helping the community to tell its story.
I agree, because it's easy to be, as you say, to be homogenized, and so to blend as much as we can and dig deeper. And so going into some of the outlying communities, that's going to be a big push for us, because there are a lot of communities that are overlooked, that are just
Right. 5 minutes down the road.
15 miles away.
Right.
And yet they're overlooked. And so we want to be giving some love to those guys too, and spreading it around.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the other thing that we're looking at as an organization is how do we serve the media maker community writ large, not just individuals and organizations who want to do the public access piece, but also the independent media makers in our community and the professional media makers in our community. We have tools and resources that we think can be useful for them. We're so beautifully situated between Portland and Seattle as a media production facility, so we want to invite that community to be a part of what goes on here too.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to being out of time. There are, what are some other things that you would like the viewers to keep in mind before we wrap up a little bit?
Well, I guess as we go out into the community, understand that we are, we're going to need a little bit more support. We're going to need support, both as far as content, like good stories, good things that you want other people to know about and to share. And then also financial support. Of course, we're going to need more financial support as we move forward, but we're going to earn it. We're going to earn it by doing good work and getting in there and sharing everybody's stories, finding out things that maybe other people haven't been talking about or discussing that need to be discussed, and looking at as many sides of that story as we can. And that unfortunately takes time and that takes money to do it well. So there's a reason why there's a shortage of good journalism in our area, and that's because it takes effort.
We very definitely want to encourage the community to contact us with their ideas and events and those types of things. We may not be able to, well, we won't be able to get to all of them, but we do want to try to reach out. Board members, we could use some more board members too.
Yeah. Well, and we didn't look at that because we had so much work to do, and we just wanted to knuckle down and get the hard work done. So I think we're at a point now where we are ready to move forward. And so we've got a good vision, and we've got a good agreement within the board. So we are now ready to invite other people to join us, and it's been a process, but it's been a really good, I think, and I feel very encouraged by how positive everybody has been.
I would say in general, the reaction that I've gotten from folks in the community when I've shared what it looks like, the direction we're headed, the reaction has been very positive. But again, good wishes and thoughts don't pay the bills. So that financial support's going to be important too.
It is, yeah.
Okay, well, Megan, I want to thank you for being here for Mission NonProfit. This is a very, very different format that we've ever done before, to have a conversation. And it's easy to talk about ourselves, but it's not easy to talk about ourselves in this kind of format. So I want to thank you for being here and for your leadership on the board and your friendship and support for me as the CEO. It's been really important this last year, because it's been an interesting year.
We've been through a lot so far.
It's been an interesting year, but we're very optimistic, and the board is optimistic, and I think that really says a lot for where we are, hope and plan for this organization to go. So thanks for joining us. And I want to thank you for watching this edition of Mission NonProfit. If you want more information about how you can be part of TC Media's creative community, go to our website, tcmedia.org. There you will find our training schedule for the variety of classes that we offer. You can watch the live stream of Channel 22 or look at our video on demand server. You can get up to the date information about events and activities that are happening here in Studio A. And you can make a tax-deductible donation to support our work. We also want to encourage you to attend the March 15th Studio A concert featuring the Ole Mountain Boys right here where we are right now. It's a benefit fundraiser for TC Media, and we'd love to have you come. Tickets available at our website. Thanks for watching this episode of Mission NonProfit. We'll see you again next time.